hopefully this will help us take the dailies to another level of a little bit more swing examples and go from there. And at the same time, I get to practice a little bit. All right, so let's start this first one off with a question. And as you can see, we have the clipboard, and this comes from Chuck C. And Chuck says, and this was a reference to loading the back leg in the backswing that a daily that I did recently. And he says, loading the right, and he's talking about right leg, meaning back leg for me because I'm a right-hander. Loading the right, I can understand, but the concept of going down while going back and then up while coming through has me confused, as I don't believe the head should be going down on the way back and then up on the way through. Could you maybe put it in another way or explain how to keep your nose, he says, on the ball? But remember, I like at the ball now, because I found many times if you try to get your nose on the ball, people start getting more on top of it and getting to their forward side. So how to keep your nose at the ball while not dipping and raising through the swing. Okay, I guess the first thing is we have to have an understanding of what I mean down and up is. If I stand here and I'm standing dead straight like this, and I just kind of take my weight over here and pick my foot off my right side, what did you see happen? Just watch my right knee. I'll do it from this view. It's obvious that as soon as I leave from being perfectly balanced between both feet and go to my right leg and do this, what do you see happen? The knee flexes down just a little bit. Now, I'm going to do it again, but all I want you to do now is watch my head right here. How much did it go down? It was negligible. It might have been 1/4 of an inch. All right? So now, when it goes down in my backswing, the muscles have been stretched a little bit. Remember, Dr. Armstrong's concept of dynamic balance is your muscles are at the optimum length to produce work. And so when I get over here preloaded heavy right, that automatically gives me almost the down I need. And then when I just finally turn a little bit more into my right side, as I make enough turn to get my forward arm over my toe line, over the toe line where I lift, it receives a little bit more weight. The leg can't flex just a fraction more. If it's flexing a fraction more, the angle at the knee to the lower leg from the upper leg is doing what? It's going down a little bit. You should feel all kinds of pulling from the back of your hip down through your hamstrings to the back of your knee. Just a little bit of pulling, you've gone down. It's the same thing as the pitcher going like this. If a pitcher goes and bends too much, he loses it. And the same thing with a player serving, a tennis player serving. So we just go into it a little bit. It's not much. It's just down a little bit. And now, because my weight is into the ground, I can push off. An answer came in for Chuck C's question here from Robert F. And he said, the head should be as still as you can keep it in the swing right up until impact. Agreed. Again, today the whole world says it's okay to move your head. Because a little. I heard that almost 20 years ago at a PGA of America Teaching and Coaching Summit. But okay, if you tell me it moves a little, define how much a little is and tell me why. Well, what they were referring to was that no human being, as long as your head stays attached to your shoulders by your neck, and as long as your back leg stays attached to your front leg, or in fact, should say both legs stay attached to your hips, if you turn your shoulders 90 degrees or more, and your hips at least 45, half what they say should be what the shoulders turn, when the hips move this much, it straightens the back leg, which will pull the front leg down, because for every action is a reaction. So conversely, that's why when we make the limited turn, we can stay basically relatively still. There might be just a fraction. And I'm going to swing in a minute, and you can watch it. But getting back to what Robert F. said, and I'm reading his because, again, he answered everything in a beautiful 6 or 7 lines. The head should be as still as you can keep it in a swing right up until impact. When Serge says to let the weight settle onto the back leg, he's talking about using the knee like the springs in a car to keep the body steady and level. Remember, I called the knees the levelers and stabilizers. They might go down a little bit. They're stretching the muscles, and what goes down can spring up. So we go down and up. And what are we supposed to be doing in a forward swing? It's called the FUS, forward upswing, going up. Unfortunately, most folks do what? They start turning and the back leg locks. And if the back leg locks, the front leg's going down. And if the back leg locks, you're going up. And so you've come up, and then what happens? Once you start to make your turn, it's hard to bump. The right knee has to accept the weight. Many people, myself included, coming from a rotational swing, have to overcome the habit of the right knee straightening as you turn back and take the club away. Straightening the right leg, in effect, pushes the weight onto the left, causing reverse tilt and ending badly, chunks, thins, pulls everything inconsistent. You can't bump properly with the straight right leg, and so on. Serge is not saying to lower your body several inches when you swing back. So there's exactly the answer to what I was just beginning to say about if you straighten your right leg, the right leg goes up, the muscles in the leg are tightened, the forward leg goes down, you're likely reverse tilting, and then you can't bump. It's hard to bump because your hips are angled the wrong way, your shoulders are angled the wrong way, your head at a golf ball, so the only thing left is to start turning like this. And at some point, once the knee starts coming back, if it reaches a certain point, it tends to collapse in, and then it'll help straighten that one up. So to keep the knees level and stable, this sitting or sinking into the back side is just very, very supple, very subtle. It barely goes down. Again, here's the thing. Just stand here, put your weight over there like you preloaded heavy right, and you're pretty much there. And then the next effect would be no more than if I was standing up like this and I'm there, just lift this foot up and you're going to see the leg just go down a little bit. I could go down a lot, but that's collapsing. So this is just a tweak. And so now once I get into the preloaded heavy right, and I'm set up, and I'm going to turn into the mitt and lift the club up the tree. You'll see that my head might go down just a fraction, and if it goes down a fraction, I'm talking a fraction. It's minute. And then what's going to happen is that when I bump and I move in, and my head might actually go backwards a little bit. I call that the dipsy doodle. It's a secondary spine angle tilt Dr. Armstrong talks about, meaning that as I shift my weight this way, when the bump goes this way, it forces the forward side up, puts a little bit more tilt on it, and gives the room for the forward arm to straighten out as well as the back arm to straighten out and still be behind the ball. Remember I say, if you want to hit the ball straight to a little draw, you must be behind the ball at impact. The head must stay behind the ball until impact. Again, it's just a fraction. So focus on my head. Watch how little it moves. This is an 8-iron. As you heard, that was right on the bullseye. Okay, and it goes with everything in the bag. Let's do a driver here. One more. Watch the head. If it goes down, it's just a teeny weeny bit. Okay, so all again, it's just a little bit over, and when you load, it's just like pick your foot off the ground, and all it does is you feel that slight little crimp in your knee, and you feel all the stretch in your back legs. What goes down can then swing up and push up, as I say, because we want to do what in a forward swing? We want to swing up to the tee finish. So if you're down pushing up, you increase the speed of your arms and your body and your whole backside chasing your club head to the tee finish. All right, well, discussing this sinking into the right side. This is the Serge from the backyard hitting into the net, and I'll be talking to y'all again soon.